with the new single mother pattern of life now throughout our societies, where they're unable to maintain a strong, healthy relationship, be it their fault or somebody else's, it doesn't matter. They end up in the same place, a single mother. So sad. It's not the way that God planned it or wanted it, but that's how it is. You'll find that these women do have experiences with men in new relationships, and through these relationships these women learn that there's things that you can do and that you can't do, but they also still want to try and condition men, the one that they're in the relationship at the time, to work in with. They covertly try and condition these men without being open about it all, to work in with their insufficiencies in the relationship, because their codependency is on their children, their adult children or their little children, whatever the case might be. Their security, their life, beyond the normal parent-child formations and expectations, it's gone beyond that. It's extra maternal. I mean, these people are now putting adult emotions and needs on these children that are not meant for children. They're meant for an intimate adult partner. They're inviting these children into adult business that has nothing to do with them, that they're unequipped to deal with, and it's all to suit the needs and mentality of the parent, who is really behaving in a very selfish way. When this happens, and it's happening all the time in these single mother homes, they'll know that when they meet somebody to meet their sexual needs and intimate needs, or whatever the case is, they can't get certain needs met from the children, so they get their needs met through an outsider. They know that this is going to cause a psychological collapse in the child that they have, because they've done this before. They've seen what's happened before. So they covertly try and navigate themselves in a way in which the child's not psychologically impacted, which sounds very considerate and what you would hope. And what I've learnt is, if you do meet somebody and they do have children living at home, whether they be teenagers or adults, it's best probably for you not to go there, because you're going to be met at some point as the relationship goes on with hostility, and the hostility will be conceived out of the disruption in the child's or the adult child's supply from the parent, which they're used to getting, but that's been now taxed, as far as they're concerned, taxed by you, because you've taken the attention away from them. Now, once you realise that this is... See, a lot of people don't know about covert emotional incest, where the parent will surrogate the child as a replacement for an intimate adult partner. It's a sexless, intimate relationship, but it's very deep and it's very strong, and the reactions and emotions associated with this relationship will be the same as one associated with a adult to adult intimate relationship. They get jealous, they get possessive, they have expectations that are beyond the normal expectations of a healthy developed child. They'll interrupt, they'll intrude, they'll abuse, they'll assassinate, And there's a whole host of things going on behind the scenes that you won't be aware of that are going on. Real destructive things to try and vandalize you, get rid of you, tantrums, feigned sicknesses. You'll be coming over on the Friday night and all of a sudden they have to have a talk with your mum, with their mum, knowing that the mother's got a date, and it's all a load of hogwash. If mum doesn't have this talk, I'll commit suicide. I have seen manipulation and control at such dark demonic proportions. You wonder where the mind of the parent is. I'll tell you where the mind of the parent is. The mind of the parent's in an intimate, sexless, intimate relationship with this child. That's how they've developed it. That's how it's formed. That's just how it is. And you have to accept that that's what it is. If you're seeing a closeness between a parent and a child that's not on a normal matrix or spectrum, you have to look a little bit deeper into it and say, what am I dealing with here? What was going on before I come along? Because it's usually going to be an enmeshment. And an enmeshment, a covert emotional ancestral enmeshment, is a sexless intimate relationship between a parent and a child, all but the sex. So when somebody else comes along, say for instance yourself, and their supply is jeopardized by your presence, there's going to be a war, there's going to be a battle, there's going to be a contest. And you may not know that that contest is taking place behind your back. Yelling, screaming, arguing, tantrums, fits of rage. And this is going to put pressure on the person that you're seeing, the parent that you're seeing. Because you've got to remember, none of this was the way that it was supposed to be. You might have come from a broken relationship yourself with children and whatnot. Now you've got parents trying to divide themselves between their children and an intimate relationship. And it comes with complexities, very serious complexities. Because the formation that's taken place, if it's without boundaries and unhealthy and gone enmeshed between a parent and a child, adult child, etc., that will contest with the intimate relationship, the real intimate relationship between the two adults. Because the child's been psychologically formed to believe that they have a right over the intimate aspects of their parent, and they have a possession of that. And when somebody comes along and starts to take from that investment, which will take from the child, that's going to cause a conflict, because the child's losing supply. The child's territory is being invaded. And there's going to be resistance, and there's going to be performances and objections and protests to this. And people are going to be angry and upset and confused. And you're just trying to have an intimate relationship with somebody. But there's no privacy there. The thing is, it's all being hidden. You know something's wrong, but it's all being hidden because the person that you're with doesn't want you to realize that there's a battle going on behind your back. A battle for the possession of the person that you're with. And this happens all the time. It happens by way of the numbers now of single parents. And the children are the meat in the sandwich. It's not their fault. But if they become hostile, that's not your problem either. That's the problem of the parent. And if they haven't developed and raised their children properly, made them codependent on themselves by way of a convenience for themselves in the fact that they've surrogated the child as a partner for themselves, then you need to understand what this is, and it's called covert emotional incest.